One of the Red Pill's most important missions within the Matrix is the search for potentials. Young people, usually children, who are on the verge of awakening from the Matrix that possesses abilities useful to the Resistance. But what happens when a couple of potentials aboard a hovercraft tries to surprise their mother within the Matrix? Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Broadcast Depth is a comic that tells the story of two sisters who want to surprise their mother, a red pill who is connected to the Matrix by the orders of the Oracle to find new potentials. The story begins with our protagonist and two other individuals at a beach within the Matrix. It's not quite 10 a.m. and Lena, Rawlings, and I are already baking on the beach. But don't let the sand and sun fool you. The three of us are actually strapped to our seats on board our ship, the Calipedia, which we lovingly refer to as the Great Ghost because of her similar appearance to the crab of the same name. We're in this little dingy Caribbean corner of the Matrix to scout for potentials, defined as people who possess specific qualities of enlightenment, awareness, and or the ability to bend aspects of the Matrix to their will. In short, they have within them nascent powers to see through and alter the digital scrim that suffocates our collective consciousness. Like so much tropical humidity, the word came down from the Oracle herself, directly to me, which drove my crewmates nuts. Why you, they asked. Maybe their skepticism has more to do with envy than with actual valid reason. The fact that she chose to tell me made perfect sense, at least to me. Maybe because I have some experience with potentials. My twin 8-year-old girls are at this very moment on board a ship full of them, hovering somewhere near broadcast depth where they're being tested to see if they got the right stuff, or any stuff at all. I'm very proud of the girls, but like most moms, I just miss them. Nice shell. I said, nice shell, Maggie. Maggie is the main character of this story. Huh? Oh yeah, pretty. Makes a pretty necklace too, don't you think? Said Maggie. Maggie passes a string through the shell and wears it like a necklace. I know it's only code, but it's still something I'll never get to share with my little girls. Lena looks at me funny, so I decided to forget to even try to explain what I mean. She doesn't have kids, and besides, I'd rather try to get into the illusion of this place, if only even for a little while. Maggie decides to go for a dip in the ocean. I'm going for a swim. Don't go out too far, Mags, in case the Oracle is right. Or in case we have to bail, said Rawlings. I'll check in every 15 minutes, responded Maggie, and she dives into the ocean. The water feels so good on my skin. I'm swimming in a womb. I laugh at the irony of it, thinking of the countless human lives spent in liquid-filled pods. It's hard to believe that this beautiful world is nothing but lines of code, which was the whole point of this shell necklace. Back at the real world, in an unnamed ship of potentials somewhere above Zion, there is a group of kids sneaking around. Are you sure you know how to do this, Ashley? We want to do this on our actual for real birthday, you know. Lisa, could you be any more annoying? I don't think the whole ship heard you nagging about our plan. Okay, I'm sorry. Are you sure you know how to do this? Lisa and Ashley are Maggie's twin little girls. The two girls have been planning to visit their mother inside the Matrix for her birthday. Ashley has been observing how the operators work for some time now. I watch the operator and pay attention to everything he does. Every keystroke and every button pressed, every dial turned. So while the rest of the potentials are busy elsewhere, Lisa and I try to put our gifts to practical use and wait for an opportunity to hack the Matrix and find our mom. Okay kids, come on, over here, said one of the guardians. The kids are instructed to follow the adults into the galley to eat their meal. But Ashley and Lisa sneak away. Are you sure you know how to do this? Asked Lisa. Piece of cake. Now would you please be quiet? Come with me. As everyone else is chowing down on protein paste, Ashley plugs in Lisa into the system. Okay, it will fit. Now sit back in the chair and I'll plug you in. And you better sit still. Ashley plugs in her sister and immediately starts the system. I plug her in and dial up quickly. Sis tries to look calm, but she's not quite the tough little soldier she wants everyone to believe she is. We may look identical to everyone else, but to me, she's always been a mama's girl. Back at the simulation, Maggie is still swimming within the simulated ocean. I wonder what the girls are doing right now. I'm their mother, for God's sake. I'm supposed to be teaching them how to be better people, strong women, soldiers in the war against the machines, against the fate of the masses, the battery farm. Maggie spots an octopus under the water. How can I teach my girls? How can I help them prepare for their lives? Little did Maggie knew, her girls were looking for her. Ashley opens up a trace program to find her, but doing so opened the door for another party to trace her. The Calapity's warning system goes red. The crew tries to jam the signal, but the Sentinels already found them. The Sentinels home in on the ship's location. They fly towards the vessel at an incredible speed, like the octopus under the sea who was about to devour a crab. They found us. They locked on tight. But how? Who the hell would track us knowing it would make us an easy target? The octopus swims and grabs the crab. Agents? Can't be agents. They have no access codes. Brace yourselves. The crab is being consumed, eaten in a circle of life. Maggie watches as a mass of ink and arms tumble through the blue as the octopus encircles the crab. Her ears are pounding, like the sound of a death scream. That poor crab, she said. The Sentinels have reached the Calapity. Parr, get to the main deck and ready the EMP. Mead, come with me. We need to buy some time till backup arrives. If it arrives. The crew makes their stand as the Sentinels break into the hull. They've breached the firewall. Fall back. The crew in the Matrix doesn't know we're under attack. All communications are down. With an explosion and the sound of ripping metal, the Sentinels enter the ship. The crew fall back, but one by one, the Sentinels kill them. Only 2 of them remain to set up the EMP. One of them describes what is happening. The Sentinels are breaking through every bulkhead, every blockade we're setting up. Scratch that. Trying to set up, on their way to the main deck. Only Parr and I stand between the Sentinels and the death of us all. And then Parr's head explodes. The Sentinels advance. I make a run for the EMP, and the nearest Sentinel grabs my arm, nearly ripping it out of its socket. I almost blacked out from the pain. Inches away from the EMP button, I strain to reach it. It can't end like this. Inches away. But it does. The Sentinel kills the last remaining crew member before he could activate the EMP. Then, it goes to unplug the Matrix crew. Maggie emerges from the ocean, gasping for air. Her heart is pounding and filled with a level of dread that grabs her guts and squeezes. Her dread intensifies as she walks closer to the shore. And out of nowhere, she hears a little girl scream, "Mommy." My heart jumps in my throat. Lisa? Here? Where the hell are Lena and Rawlings? I try to make sense and stay calm. Lisa, what are you doing here? Where's your sister? Ashley's on the ship with the other kids. She sent me here. We wanted to surprise you for your birthday, so we hacked the Matrix to trace you, answered the little girl as she races towards her mother. So now it makes sense. My talented, adorable, brilliant little girls wanted to surprise me on my birthday. Suddenly, Maggie is horrified by an image that she sees at the corner of her eye. Lisa finally reaches her mother and notices the worried look on her face and stops. What's the matter, Mommy? Maggie can see them. Rawlings and Lena dead in the hot sand. She tries to scream, but all she manages is a sickly gasp. Maggie freezes in horror, knowing what's about to happen, as her daughter continues to race towards her. 30 seconds ago, seeing Lisa here was the most wonderful feeling in the world. Now I can't think of anything more horrible. She's going to watch me die. I tried to raise my girls to respect reality, to choose it over the Matrix regardless of how incredibly painful reality might be at times, because reality may also be wonderful. But I never expected that I would be the ultimate object lesson. Lisa again asks her mother if something's wrong. Maggie answers that nothing is wrong and that she has a present for her. I gave her the shell necklace. I watched her face light up as I put it around her neck. I hold her and squeeze her and tell her that I love her. I don't know how to tell her that she and her sister's trace doomed our ship and crew. They'll both know soon enough, to their everlasting horror, so I don't mention it. Instead, I kiss her little face and try not to scream in despair every time my voice breaks. Maggie desperately tries to remain calm as she gives her daughter her last words. Listen to me, honey. This necklace is a symbol of how much I love you and your sister. But unlike the shell, my love for you and your sister is very real. Do you understand? Lisa shakes her head yes, but her eyes tell a different story. Then Maggie feels it, the inevitable. Please, just a few more seconds. I need to hear her say it. I need to hear her tell me she understands. Maggie starts to see images of her daughters, of herself, and the Sentinel. She feels a sharp pain in the back of her neck and falls to the ground. Lisa drops to her knees in front of her mother. She doesn't say a word. She touches her mother's face, but she doesn't move. Lisa looks down and holds the shell necklace her mother gave her and remembers the birthday gift that she and her sister had made for her. Now then, this tragic tale brings with it some interesting plot elements, such as the direct command of the Oracle. Maggie mentioned that her team questioned why the Oracle had chosen her to help find and recruit potentials, but the reasons were laid bare as Maggie was the mother of 2 potentials. As we know, the Oracle can see the future thanks to cause and effect within the code. She probably knew that if Maggie entered the Matrix, her daughters would try to find her, an act that would cost the lives of Maggie and her crew. If the Oracle had never sent Maggie into the Matrix, they would still be alive, similar to when she warned Neo about the vase. We also got our first look at the potentials in the real world. Even though they were children, Lisa and Ashley managed to enter the Matrix in secrecy to find their mother, an impressive feat for such younglings, as it has been shown that being an operator is almost an innate ability. However, the girls' lack of experience and understanding of the risks involved pushed the doors wide open for the Sentinels to find their mother's ship. One last interesting element was the seashell, a natural part of the flora and fauna of the beach. The shell symbolized the facade of the simulation. Also, the other word used instead of residual self-image is shell, the bodies of the humans and programs within the Matrix. We don't know in which Matrix cycle this story took place, yet it still is a tragic lesson about the dangers of not understanding or respecting the Matrix. For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.